Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 22 of Criminality, the podcast where, Rebekah, thank goodness loving reality isn't a crime because we really love this stuff.
We really do, and it would take away from us watching the crimes happen on reality. I mean, Salt Lake City, anybody? I can't get enough.
It's so good, and the amount of recaps I'm listening to, just like the details I've missed that, Ben and Ronnie and the like are talking about. It's incredible. I'm living for this season.
It's truly like the best thing I'm watching is that show. Every episode, week after week, gives something new, a different vantage point. Just when you think that story's going to get like tired or something. No, it's not. And what I can't get out of my head right now is Lisa's voice saying Jenny. And I was thinking about you and like, does that same affect work on every name? I was like, Melissa, like Jenny. Like I was
That's
like,
actually really good.
Should I creep her out and just start the show like Melissa? And so I've been trying it out on everybody. Hi, baby gorgeous. I've been trying it out on people like in my house and they're not watching.
How are they?
So it's just
are they
weird.
Appreciating it? Yeah.
No.
Well, we both have.
Who are you?
3-syllable names. That makes it hard, right?
It does. Jenny is perfect for it. And even like Whitney doesn't work the same way. It's like really, maybe it's just for Jenny that she does that. But
maybe.
I love it.
It's so much fun. It's always a good time. I'm excited to talk about the shows we're watching at the end. I'm excited about this entire episode. This is just going to be fun.
Oh my gosh, Melissa, me too, because I've figured out, because I'm just so intuitive, with Fiance, that perhaps maybe we just might be talking about 90 Day Fiance.
That doesn't seem like me.
I know. And that's, of course, all I know. I know some of our listeners have put in some very specific guesses. I have a feeling they probably know and are right. And they've also dropped some really scary, terrifying clues that I'm just here buckling up and ready when you are.
I literally cannot imagine you reading the clues that people were writing in the comments, like where this is going.
Well, I'm just glad they're not the clues you picked, because like I'd get flagged on Instagram for posting some of them visually.
Very true. There's a reason I went a little more general with this.
Mm-hmm.
But Rebekah, let's play a game of word association, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you 3 words, and you tell me what they have in common. 3 words or phrases. All right. First one, terrorism. Second one, poop water. And third, a lock of your mother's hair.
So you're telling me all 3 of these have something in common?
Mm-hmm.
And I should know it?
Absolutely not. If you know it, you've got there's some things.
Okay. Yeah. Hit me, because for poop water, all I can think of is black water. But
okay, well,
that's a throwback. That's a callback.
Yeah, there you go. So if you guess serial killer, though, you would probably be wrong, at least for now. Jury's still out. But if you guess the subject of today's podcast, star of 90 Day Fiance and penis sheath wearer Paul Staley, you'd be right. And we should be friends. And you and I can be friends anyway. I won't hold this against you.
Okay, good.
It's more of a negative for knowing it, really, if we're being honest. So today we're going to talk about the journey of Paul and a little about the TLC gem of a show. Sorry, I read that wrong. Germ of a show 90 Day Fiance. So, I haven't shown you his bride. Hang on, let me move.
She's not got
She's
love in her
beautiful.
eyes.
No.
She is beautiful, but she's not looking at him adoringly.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. So 90 Day Fiance premiered on January 12th, 2014 on TLC. You remember TLC, the Learning Channel. Rebekah, do you have any connection to TLC, 90 Day Fiance? I don't hear a lot from you regarding that channel.
No. You know what comes to mind when you say TLC is the baby story.
Baby Story. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, my gosh. I actually haven't thought of that show in a really long time, but this will date and age me, but I watched that back when I was pregnant and my kids are not babies or kids. So yeah, Baby Story and TLC is like very associated tightly in my brain.
It's so funny. I knew you would say that before anything, because that's what I remember. They had the wedding story too, but Baby Story was one. Whenever I had kids, same thing. Like I remember watching those and not learning anything.
No, I don't know why we watched those. Like, I mean, I don't know. I need to.
There wasn't a lot
that.
of reality, I think. There wasn't a lot of like people showing their lives and stuff. So maybe that was it.
True. I don't know. I just wonder like why? I don't know. Never mind.
We didn't have on-demand channels. I feel like that really.
We were limited. It's true. We didn't have a lot of options.
That explains a lot. So TLC is home to shows like Baby Story, My 600-Pound Life, Buying Naked, or a show that premiered last year that feels like a personal attack, which is My Feet Are Killing Me, which was just them fixing things that were wrong with people's feet. So it's just feet that are focused on the entire show.
Disgusting.
Corns corns would be, we should be so lucky if it was a corn. If it was a corn, it was like a corn that had a corn on a corn and a new foot grew out of it with a corn. That's the kind of issue.
Corn spawn.
Yeah. Cornutopia. It was horrific. So 90 Day Fiance started as a way to document couples on their journey with a K-1 visa. So if you're not familiar with a K-1 visa, it's also known as the fiance visa. So you've probably heard of somebody, know of somebody who has had it if you don't know it through the show.
Sure.
So once a couple's been established and can prove to the U.S. government that they are indeed a couple, they can apply for a K-1 visa. So once they have the K-1 visa, the fiance comes over and they have 90 days from the time they land to get married. So that's a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, some of these people have only known each other online or whatever, and they have 90 days to plan a wedding, decide this is forever, and go through with it. It's crunch time. That's not a lot of time at all. So 90 Day Fiance, the show, though, has been a huge hit. So much so that when I first found the show, I was actually away with my husband for our anniversary, and a marathon was playing on TLC. And I watched 8 straight hours of 90 Day Fiance.
So romantic.
I know. It makes me an expert on 90 Day Fiance and marriage. So
Clearly.
So it's been such a moneymaker for TLC, though, that it's launched a million spinoffs. 90 Day Fiance, Where Are They Now? 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Nobody's Happy. And even 90 Day Fiance, Flavor Flav Finds Love on the High Seas. Okay.
Very specific.
The last one is not true, but can you imagine if there was a Flavor Flav?
I
You
bought
went with
it.
it.
I mean, if there's a foot show, there could be that show.
Why not?
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. You were just like, okay, that's specific.
On the high sea. Okay. Yeah. People love the boat shows. I get it. It tracks.
I don't know what I was going through when I wrote that joke, but all dreaming aside, though, 90 Day Fiance has a million spinoffs, but the one we're focusing on today is 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. And so 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days is literally before the fiance comes to the U.S. So sometimes it's the couple meeting for the first time in person. Sometimes it's they've met a few times and they're going back over to propose. But it is just a mess because everyone is catfishing everyone on these shows, as you can imagine. The catfishing is out of control.
Legitimately catfishing, or just like not being honest and sort of manipulating truth?
Oh, there are some photos. There is a Zied and Rebekah, and fans of the show will know who I'm talking about. This lady filtered herself into oblivion. It was crazy. And he wore her shirt on his chest and meets her in the airport, right?
Oh, that's
Wait,
awkward.
he wore her face on a shirt on his chest, meets her at the airport, and you see her standing next to this picture of her.
Oh, no.
That is two different people.
Like, what if he didn't even recognize her? Like, what if he was like, no, that's not her. Like, look at my shirt.
If there wasn't a camera crew, I do think there would have been questions.
That's so wrong.
He is just something else. They all are something else. So back in August of 2017, though, 90 days before the 90 days came into our hearts. Enter Paul and his penis sheath. I'm going to get to what that means very soon, but I like kind of making you suffer with just wondering what's going on.
I'm just glad you're going to tell me and I don't have to.
Maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll skip it altogether. I'm kidding. So 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, to me, is the creme de la creme. This is where we were introduced to the Silva twins. Do you remember the two girls I sent you?
We had a chat about them. They scare me.
Darcy and Stacy, they scare themselves and every man away that they've ever met. And we've also met Angela, the lone egg ranger, and Michael, her fiance. Those are jokes for people listening. Sorry. So they're truly,
I know they're there. I know they're out there. I'm so glad.
I'm having to commit to these things, knowing that you're just like nodding approvingly, but really just like, what is she talking about? So it's really the worst of the worst and the best of the best. Mm-hmm. Paul was really no exception. On this version of 90 Day Fiance, that before the 90 days, we're meeting this couple before they actually propose. So a lot of times we're seeing them with the first meeting. It's super awkward. The awkwardness comes from the camera. It comes from the meeting, like I was mentioning Ziad and Rebekah. It comes from the fact that a lot of times these couples don't speak the same language.
Oh my gosh.
Case in point, Paul and Karine. I can never figure out how to point to things.
I know.
So Paul and Karine's love is a tale as old as time. Boy meets girl on an international dating site. Girl and boy can only speak to each other through a translator app. Boy claims he loves this girl's big heart. And then TLC shows a picture of this girl's heart in a bikini while he says, like, she
double
has
hearts.
such a great heart. Obviously, this is love. And once this love has been translated clearly enough to get by, boy jumps on a plane to travel internationally to meet his love in Brazil. Paul runs into our lives with mosquito nets and baggage. He sat down with the doctor before he went to Brazil, told him where he was going. They were like, you need all these shots, you need mosquito nets, you need all of these things. And he bought all of them. Hashtag penis sheath. We're getting there. So they jump into love like they jump into the lake, or poop water is what Paul calls it. So Rebekah, without further ado, I have a video for you to watch.
The travel doctor warned me not to drink or swim in any untreated water because of all the diseases.
Oh, you're gonna jump in, aren't you?
But I definitely want to impress Karine. So, I'm gonna put this on first, in case that fish gets through the waiter. And I had this little penis, I guess like a sheath protection bag. And I put a condom on, have that to hold that on. Definitely don't want nothing swimming up my penis. All right.
No,
No? You go back up?
tira.
No.
Please. Não faz isso. Não sei.
Poop water.
Oh my gosh. I can never unsee that.
No, you can't. Thoughts?
She looks different than the wedding photo, so
Yes.
I almost think she looks prettier in the video.
Yeah.
Not important.
No.
Yeah, I do have thoughts. And I didn't know there was such a thing as like a protective sheath.
Penis sheath is what we're calling this.
Yes. So I've heard you say about 4 times. I think this is like becoming like we need like a ding every time.
No, it's gonna
you say penis
counter.
Yeah. I didn't know those existed. Forgive my naivete. I didn't know. I mean, I knew condoms.
Yeah.
This is different.
I'm not 100% sure that is like FDA regulated though. I think that's.
It looked like a Ken doll jacket. It was so weird. But here's my issue really with him. I understand traveling at somewhere.
Sure.
That your system is not used to and taking precautions.
Right.
There is like a way to do that so you don't sound like such a jerk.
Right.
And it's so disrespectful.
Totally.
Yeah. Like I understand not wanting to get sick from water that you've never like had.
Right.
You know, so, but that was just so rude.
That's part of what happens on this show is it's culture shock both ways. And not Americans typically don't handle it very well, and you see a lot of this nonsense. Yeah,
at least she probably didn't know what he was saying.
She didn't.
When
they
he was
couldn't
saying
have
poop
it.
water.
The water. Yeah. It was a whole thing. So
Gross.
So this lovely couple, they realize via translator app, of course, that they are meant to be together forever. Even though if this is Where's Waldo, I'm fairly certain Paul couldn't point Karine out if it was just Karine and Waldo, which isn't an insult to her. It's just these two are like obsessed with being in love, but they don't care who that person is that's on the other end, you know? It's just all weird, Rebekah. Wait till you see. I haven't shown you them communicating on the translator app yet.
Well, she wanted to take, sorry, I have a question. She
Yeah,
wanted him
please.
to take something off. Was it the life jacket, the terrible swimsuit, or the penis sheath?
I think it was probably the life jacket, and he wore a bulletproof vest. The other thing, that's the other thing you saw the whole time he was wearing. I forgot until I watched it. I will say later, whenever he visits, he calms down. But that first trip, you've never seen anything like it. It is unreal. Like you just don't think people exist like this. And they do. And it's him.
They do. And it's him. And he does all of the things, like not just one.
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now I know who we're dealing with.
Yes. Well, let's continue. So back to the story, though. Boy meets girl via translator app. Couple fall in love. But like all good reality TV, there's a twist. Sometimes the twist in these shows is that the person didn't mention that they were broke. Other times it's that the person is only on the show to hawk tea on their Instagram. But the best ones, and the reason for this podcast, is the revelation of a criminal record.
Oops.
By translator app, of course. The happy couple would be happy for only so long before Paul felt it was finally time to share with his new girlfriend a little about his past. And share he did. And we are going to get into this criminal record after a quick break to hear a word from this week's sponsors. So Paul sits down with Karine in this park in Brazil and starts to share with her about his criminal record via the translator app, of course. So Paul's criminal record and his scrapbook of mugshots began back in 2007 when he was accused of second-degree arson. Remember the fire?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I've been waiting for the fire, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more specifically, though, his charge was for, quote, burning personal property to defraud the insurer.
Oh,
yeah.
Classic.
AKA, Paul started the fire. It was always burning and he wants insurance.
Perfect. Oh, shoot.
You know, it happens to the best of us. Mostly the worst. Paul spent 18 months in the clink while awaiting his trial, and he eventually pleads guilty and was given supervised probation in 2014. That's a lot of time, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Having not been, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but in comparison to other things, like, wow, I was actually surprised by that. But Rebekah, it wasn't his only brush with the law. Paul then shared with Karine via translator app those 3 words that every woman wants to hear. You know the ones. Order of protection.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Paul explains that he and his ex-girlfriend had this terrible relationship. Eventually, they both take out orders of protection against each other. According to Paul, past girlfriends had been unfaithful to him. And when this specific one ended, they both sought out orders of protection against each other. He was like accused of not physical abuse. It was Like he threatened to slash her tires. Plenty there to get an order of protection, but they both apparently had them against one another.
Okay.
So Paul followed the rules of the order of protection and everything was totally, in the words of Kathy Hilton, hunky-dory. Just kidding. He was arrested for violating the emergency protective order in Taylorsville, Kentucky in 2013. So Paul tells Karine all of this via translator app again, and he kind of just sits there. She's like taking it in, having to wait for it to translate, processing it, and is saying, oh no, oh no. And let me let you see what he does.
Oh, good. This is going to be good. This I'm excited for.
In jail, I've been in prison for numerous things. I was accused of burning my own house, burning my own personal property, and spent about 18 months in jail.
Oh my God.
And then a few years ago, I was in a very terrible relationship. She took out an emergency protective order on me. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Oh.
She doesn't deserve damaged goods. It's not fair to her.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Não, é bagunça, né? Eu não tinha ideia do passado criminoso do Paul. Eu não tava esperando por isso. Sério?
I need my space right now. I need to walk away for a little bit. Karine definitely does not deserve to have someone like me that's constantly has problems around her. So I hope she understands I can't be with her. It's just not gonna work.
Care to comment?
Okay, sometimes these light and frivolous shows are too fraught with humanity for me to handle. That moment,
Yeah.
with him telling the truth, I felt that for him.
Sure.
I'm not that was awkward, and I also understood a couple things she said because of my time with Elite.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say visiting Brazil, something like that.
No. From a Netflix show about teens and their sexy lives.
Hot teens.
Yeah. But then he ran away. I don't respect that. Have the conversation, stay there for a response. I think he just was so ashamed. So he ran away uphill. And
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had SimpliSafe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With SimpliSafe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day Fiance level contract drama. SimpliSafe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, SimpliSafe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get SimpliSafe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new SimpliSafe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Getting the smile and confidence you've been dreaming about, all from the comfort of your home, isn't a total mystery with Byte clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all your friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door, Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
What looks to be like a rainforest.
No, it was. It was. It's a lot. I don't think I have the compassion that you have for him just because I know what happens later. So I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have that so much for him. But I get it. I understand what you're saying.
This is like the weird way that I sometimes have a hard time. Like when I was a kid, it was hard for me to watch sports and see a team lose. I would just be like, oh my gosh, they tried so hard and they practiced just as hard. Like it's that moment of like, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not really, you know me.
Yeah.
I just have moments where I see someone's real like humanness.
Yeah.
And I saw it there. Like he wanted to like tell her before they got further along, which I admire. And that's really hard to do. But what happens? What does he do to
I would like everyone to take
opinion?
Note real quick that Rebekah just said she admired Paul. So let's continue. Let's go from there. So 2 minutes after that, Rebekah, no kidding, another crime takes place. No joking. And I was actually going to play you that footage, and I had recorded it, but it's honestly terrifying. Paul runs off up the hill, right? And Karine's just walking through the park to find him. A man with a machete runs up to her, steals her phone, apparently robs the TLC crew, and they just run off. Is that enough crime for you vultures?
Yeah, I know. And Paul's like, now who's laughing at my bulletproof vest? This thing, a machete can't cut through this. What the what?
Yeah.
Oh my
what
gosh.
The what? Honestly, though, whenever I watched it, like I've seen it before, so it didn't really surprise me. I did not want to throw that at you because it is a lot to see. They blur the person's face out, but somebody comes at her with a machete and she just hands over her phone. It is wild. Wild.
I can't believe they aired it.
Yeah, I can't either. And I don't even know. It was hard for me to find that clip. So I wonder if maybe they pulled it at some point. I don't know. I had to find it on like somebody's blog.
Like the tourism board of Brazil is like, get the machete footage off the show. We want people to come because it's like a beautiful place, but yikes.
Yeah, it was. And just like right in front of the camera crew.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Stole from them and everything.
Oh
but
my
it
gosh.
It
That's
was
nuts.
Yeah. So anyway, that happened immediately after he ran into the woods. But guess what? We're not done.
Okay.
So let's move on to something else. How about Paul asking Karine to marry him? After all, they've known each other like 3 days. Oh. And while these two lovebirds want to plan for their wedding, they first need to tell Karine's parents about this new issue, which is probably not going to be an issue because her dad is just a retired police officer. I'm sure
boy.
he won't mind. So the couple tell her dad, and they're kind of surprised by it, but very shortly after, he ends up going through with telling them the whole thing and then asking for her hand in marriage. Well, he's asking for her hand in marriage in a way that only Paul could do. Translator app must have been down. Duolingo has not working that day. And this, Rebekah, oh wait, where is it? This is how he chooses to show Rebekah. We do a lot of things with our hands. We do peace signs. Some people flick people off. How would you tell somebody, ask if you wanted to marry someone's daughter? Would you do...
Oh, no. Put the sheath on. No.
He's literally saying, can I marry your daughter? When the guy doesn't understand, he does.
Oh,
over and over.
So for our non-YouTube watchers, he's doing like at elementary, middle school, finger in the one finger in to make a circle with the other fingers. Yeah, okay. Putting it in. I cannot.
I won't do the action, but let this. I was so excited about this. It was horrific.
So he got the whole finger wrong, first of all. It's like not that finger, which makes this even more explicit. It's like this is so bad.
I'd rather watch the machete, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yes, bring us back to the machete, please.
The machete of it all.
My gosh.
So yes, well, eventually though, her dad does say yes to marrying his daughter / eggplant emoji. So what do you do next, Rebekah? Well, that's when the K-1 visa comes into play here. So as I said before, it's known as a fiance visa. They're both engaged at this point. They're engaged to each other. Tons of these visas are applied for every year in the name of love. But to file for a K-1 visa, you do need some money. And I can't remember what the amount is, but it's several $1,000s.
Okay.
It turns out Paul didn't have any. He has, his hands are hard at work, but he's not really. You also need to have a job, which Paul had a hard time keeping. And like I said, you have to have like a certain amount of money. Paul had neither, and while you could have somebody sponsor Karine, now I don't know if you knew this, but if you sponsor somebody on a K-1 visa, do you know how long you're responsible for them? Say it all blows up, and that happens sometimes on this show. You get married, you're responsible for them, the sponsor.
Financially?
If they file for government support, anything like that, you're responsible for them.
24 months or like 2 years or something?
10 years.
Oh my gosh. Like who would do that?
Exactly. And so Paul's mom was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. This is
She's
not
like a mother knows her son. Run, girl, run.
Well, he knows how to run, but maybe she should start running. Like I said, Paul's mom was not going to do this. And while she may share the hair off of her head, she was not going to share the shirt off of her back. Oh, yeah. Did I mention that Paul's mom, who is a really lovely person, once gave Paul a gift before he left for Brazil? Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
I think you should leave a lot of this stuff there.
These 2 cases aren't coming back.
Good.
My mother's taking me to the airport. She's feeling extremely emotional about me leaving.
What, is this a doctor?
Oh, no. I'm just here.
Oh, here.
No, I had out my brush, no.
She actually just snuck out and gave me a little bit of her hair from her comb to take with her. It means a lot. That's actually something, it's her hair. Very sweet of her to do something like that for me. I'll make sure I pack it in here.
It's not even like a lock. It looks like she swept it up from the bathroom floor while cleaning.
She pulled it out of her hairbrush.
Oh, gross. And you can't convince me those weren't bodies they were moving into that car.
Yeah, I don't know if he brought them into Brazil, but yeah, those are the things he was carrying. He had so much stuff. I don't even have that footage of him going through the airport just carrying, because that's like all of his like military grade stuff. He had mosquito nets he slept in under, during the night. There's a lot of stuff. Penis sheaths are not going to carry themselves, Rebekah.
If I know one thing, I know that to be true.
I think we're up to 6 counting. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Paul can't get his mom to sponsor. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have a job. Paul decided that he's going to go back to Brazil and marry Karine there with the intention of applying for a marriage visa. So it's going to be easier for her to come back to the U.S. with him if they're already married.
Okay.
So cut to the next season of Before the 90 Days. There's been several of these. And Paul does just that. So Paul is in Brazil the next time we see him, and he finds out that this plan of being with Karine and getting married there isn't going to happen. His visa in Brazil is actually denied.
Oh.
So he has to look into exactly why this has happened. Turns out he gets a letter from the Brazilian government. He reads it, and it says that it was rejected due to crimes of terrorism, genocide, a crime against humanity, and war crimes.
Was there a mix-up?
And it stated that he had to leave Brazil in 10 days. There was.
Or were my instincts right about the trunk?
I know, right? He gets an immigration attorney, and it's basically like the records came over from the U.S. It says that it was a terroristic threat for him to, say he was going to slash his girlfriend's tires. It didn't translate into Brazil. They don't have a term for that. So they see terrorism, and they're like, not on my watch, Biatch. You are not coming to Brazil.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
He has 10 days to get out of there, but he's going to have to figure it all out, which is going to cost money and time. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot to carry all these things back and forth, his mom's hair, penis sheaths, the whole thing. So while clearly this is a whole other problem, he needs this money and time, he heads back to the US. So eventually he's able to get things cleared up, and he moves back to Brazil to be with his one true love. I wrote the P word again here. I mean Karine, not the penis sheath. So one thing to know about Paul, though, is he is a messy beach who loves drama. And he loves to show drama all over social media, which that's my favorite when people are,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it really like supplements the watching experience when you can like back it up with some good social.
Oh yeah. And he doesn't care. He's like, I'll delete it tomorrow. The whole thing will change tomorrow. No one's going to remember this. So take October of 2017. Paul takes this time to head over to the gram and tell the world that Karine's cheated on him with a man named Alex, and so the two broke up. Karine denies this. Keep in mind, English is not her first language. She's still learning English. She releases a statement, and shortly after, they reconcile, of course.
Okay.
Literally a month later, they get married in Brazil with Karine's family and friends in attendance. That was that picture I showed you before. And nothing can keep these two apart at this point. Just kidding. 4 months later, back together, they break up. It just goes on and on and on like this, literally forever, until we're all dead. So Paul is in Brazil and he's struggling to find work. So he says, we should move to the US, save money, and they find out Karine's pregnant. Eventually, they go back to Brazil and he's with Karine. They have a son named Pierre, is what they call him, March of 2019. Cutest kid in the world. He's absolutely adorable. Yeah. So that summer, though, the couple decides to move back to the U.S. Paul thought he'd be able to get more work in the U.S. Turns out he just does a lot of cameos, and 5-minute cameos. And he'll
don't tempt me.
And it's
don't tempt me. The holidays are close.
And it's like all of his greatest hits. They're just so unhinged and things nobody asked for. Oh. It's good.
So do they have a cult following, these two? They have a lot of followers and people are interested? I mean, you're telling me about it, so.
Yeah, I'm they're interested in the way that I'm interested. Nobody's Team Paul and Karine. They're I'm worried about the baby. I like Karine. I think she's very young, and I think she was 24 when they got married. He was in his 30s. Okay. So I think that dynamic has always been a little off, and I think he's very controlling and a few other things. But
yeah.
Anyhow, so it's not an ideal situation, I would say. And like you were saying, she looks different in every picture. The longer she's with him, I truly think the more miserable she looks. When you first see her in the poop water, she looks gorgeous. And
yeah, she did.
Young and free and happy. And then I will say more recently, she looks a lot better. Not hot, skinny, beautiful. Just she looks happier is what I mean whenever I say that.
That's good.
Yeah. So living in the U.S. for Karine was really hard. She has no family. She has no friends here. She doesn't know the language. She has this baby. Paul's supposed to be working. He's really not. They have these wild dogs that just take over their lives. It's a lot. So I want to be very brief with this, but in July of 2020, Paul streams on Instagram, loves the gram, a live of him calling the cops on Karine. Can you imagine? You're literally going through a crisis and you're gotta get those likes. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to wait until more people log on. So we'll just wait.
Oh God, that awkward moment. They're hold on, I'm not going to start yet. Shh, stop screaming.
Yeah. That's basically it.
So wrong.
Karine, he says that Karine's contacted this attorney in Brazil and is texting about Pierre in custody and getting a divorce. So I guess he thinks that's a reason to call 911.
Oh, this sounds a little scary. Okay.
Yeah. So they get orders of protection against one another. And oddly enough, Paul is the one that moves to Brazil and Karine moves to Indiana. She has a friend in Indiana. Okay. I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's if she goes back there, I'm there and she is stuck with me. I just don't see... it doesn't make sense otherwise.
It doesn't make sense at all. And I just want to officially retract my earlier statements of Paul's humanity. The writing was on the wall. The red flags were there. I thought it was maybe him trying to be honest, he'd changed. Clearly he hasn't. I think he's scary. I hope this ends amicably and they're not together actually.
Let's continue. The next month, though, they drop the orders of protection against one another and confirm that Karine is pregnant again.
Oh, man.
In February of this year, right around the time that baby Sitch was born and this here podcast started, Ethan, Paul and Karine's son, is born in Brazil. Another adorable little kid.
Okay.
And I even have this in my notes. I think Karine looks happier than she ever has being in Brazil, being around family. She has these little boys. She seems to really love them, loves her family. They're all very close. So in the past few months, the couple announced that they are moving back to the U.S. with Karine's parents for 90 days. He specifically said 90 days. So I know on these shows, sometimes they talk about like how long it takes for family members to come over. It's kind of, I didn't quite understand why they would come for 90 days, but maybe
it's just
there's
their brand.
a piece I don't understand. Yeah. Keep it in the family. So while the couple has appeared on various installments of 90 Day Fiance, they are no longer filming. And we're not exactly sure why, but after there was abuse allegations, I did not go into any of that because it's out there if you want to see it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No. Yeah, they're like pretty bad. And then they like the other one says, no, it didn't happen. It's just a cycle over and over again.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's also why I didn't want to do this. I actually had this one picked out for a while ago, but it was in the middle of all this. And I was like, it's too dark.
That's true for my next story too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like you want to play, we want it to play out and have some resolution or, you know. Yeah, that's how this one felt. I'll read a statement that he put on Instagram. I'll read part of it.
Okay.
Updates. The false allegations against me were withdrawn. We are currently in Brazil. Karine's green card was stolen and the embassy is closed because of COVID-19. So we will be here indefinitely until we can get her a boarding foil, hopefully before her green card expires. This is all over the place, and that's why I'm reading it because it's a lot. Karine's pregnant with our next son, Ethan, who will be born in February. My dogs are finishing up intensive training at the Pampered Pup. They were a lot.
Training? Oh, just training. Just
yeah, like
I was like, for what?
Not
but just
maybe
normal
eat
dog
the babies.
training.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, Karine inherited a farm, and we will hopefully be able to start growing something and making it a working farm. And we are hoping my mother will come see the farm. Just a lot of things going on in this statement.
Yeah, he's a little erratic, and that's like it's like big talking points and like weird little details. It's a very weird statement.
And surprisingly, that statement is no longer there. So I had to find it on a website. He had deleted it. So if you can have that statement, you can go to Instagram or you can go on OnlyFans. Yeah. Remember I said fans? That's where we're at. OnlyFans is known for a lot of things, Rebekah, but I bet you never thought you could watch a live stream of someone getting DNA results on their second-born son with their wife. And that's the kind of content Paul and Karine are giving you on OnlyFans.
I mean, we used to watch that for free on like trashy talk shows.
I know, Maury. I did find a clip that was like redone that looked like Maury. Like it looked like a real thing, but it was fake.
So there was a discrepancy and
he constantly accused her of cheating on him, wanted to know. Actually, whenever he went to visit her, he made her take an STD test before he, like very publicly, like, I need you to do this.
Is toxic.
Yeah, that's probably the most accurate use of that word I've ever heard.
Yeah, forget the lake or the water. Like he is the one that is like toxic. He's
poop water. Yeah. But if you want to find out the results, you can go to onlyfans.com and use coupon code RunKarine to find out. And I hope she does. It's terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, if she's in the video, it feels like, you know, in what way is she consenting to all of this? Like, it sounds like she gets the courage to kind of leave or speak up, and then she goes back to him, and it's making me sad for her.
Oh, the whole situation. It's super sad. And there are darker stories on 90 Day Fiance. The Jeffrey guy would not do that. Yeah, his is even worse. He's currently in prison. Yeah.
Whoa.
So this is a very overview of the situation that's obviously very, very horrible.
Yeah.
With interesting facts thrown in there, and it's a character, but like
he's a compelling character. I'll give him that. I am grateful to learn some things about 90 Day Fiance that I didn't know. Didn't even know that the 90-day thing wasn't just an arbitrary, like, love at first sight idea.
Okay.
Like, I didn't know it was contingent on this visa thing. So I had no idea there was an international aspect. I literally didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool to learn.
That was it.
No,
You can order
that was
penis
just-
sheaths at criminalityshow.com/.
Yeah, how can we bring those into the just coming soon merch situation? No, thank you. Wow. Sorry,
It's
I didn't
a
know if
lot.
you were officially done.
No,
I'm just
I'm good.
processing.
I'm good. I'm done. Yeah. Keep processing.
No, I just so that struck me. And then I also didn't realize there was like continual coverage. It sounds like they were filming a lot.
And that's what happens on these shows. I've kind of tapped out a little bit on them. There's a lot of, you'll see before the 90 days, then you'll see the regular. So they'll go from before the 90 days to the regular 90-day fiance. And if they're compelling enough, you'll see them on Happily Ever After.
Right,
There's now
right.
one that's like 90-day fiance strikes back. There's dating again, like half of them are divorced now. There's a lot. And it's not what the show started out to be. I'll say that. There were some really cute, wonderful couples early on. And then it becomes like I would be horrified if I was lumped in with them. Like I wouldn't lump the Kirliam and Alan is one from the first season. So great, so pure. It's
like
not the same
truly looking
situation.
for a life companion.
Yeah,
And,
like they met on a Mormon mission. He met her
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
Like that's a whole different
okay.
situation.
Yeah, it is because it's like a genuine life experience that they shared. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Wow. He truly is one of a kind. I will say that.
yeah. And I will say his mom is actually, I think, a very lovely person who really cares about her grandkids, cares about Karine. I think she just can't be taken advantage of by Paul anymore. I think she's gotten him out of a lot of things. And it would be really, really hard if that's your kid, you know?
Yeah, I think there's something unhealthy going on there if like she can't let him leave without giving like something with her DNA on it. It's a little weird.
Maybe, yeah. But I will say, I don't think that's the whole picture. I think that was such a weird, quirky thing, but because I thought like that lady's insane. And then as I watched her, I'm like, okay, I feel bad for her. I think his dad's never on the show, but his parents are married, so there's something going on.
Yeah. You sound like me now talking about Paul at the beginning of the episode about the mom.
I know. I do feel bad.
You stand
for
Paul's
her.
mom. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw the creepy dragging the dead body in the hair scene. So
Yeah. There's a lot there for sure. Rebekah, what is your I see you've got Ja Rule and Billy
McFarland.
Yeah.
So if you say fire, all I can think of is fire fraud. So,
Oh, okay.
so I decided to just
Festival.
hang with my boys.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. I was like, how have I not mentioned that? Sorry. So yeah, that's the story. Yeah, that's the story of Paul and Karine, and hopefully we don't hear any more from them and everything is fine and everybody's in therapy and happy and all that. I don't think that's the case, but
this is our Christmas wish.
actually I don't want to waste it on that.
He seems resistant to therapy. I don't know why. Just a hunch.
I feel like he is, the last thing I'll say about it is not an honest person. I don't think he is. He spins the truth to make it how he wants to. He likes to be controversial. He said one time that she put glass in his Dairy Queen. I don't know. There's been a lot going on. I couldn't fit it all in, but
I mean,
there's a
that
lot
is
of information.
gaslighting. That
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I hate to get like super true crimey here, but like what we're those things, like when he's probably trying to make her feel crazy with the STD test and the accusing her of cheating. I mean, that is like
That's true.
classic. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. No, it's not. So would you like to
But it
move
was a
on?
really good story. And do you know why? Because like, well, for a lot of reasons, but I liked that there was like no lawsuit. It was
Oh
just,
yeah,
like,
that's true. I
it's like
normally
a
have
different. I usually do too. I have the last several, and I don't know if I did the last several, but it was just really fun.
We brought
Even
arson
though it was
back.
super dark. yes, it's been too long. And let's just make a pact that will be the only story we ever do with a penis sheath.
I honestly don't think I can make that pact. Rebekah, what if something comes out on 1,000 Pound Sisters and a penis sheath is involved?
Okay, I'll allow
Penis
it.
sheath lawsuits? Can that be the exception?
Absolutely.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
that was good. Good job.
Thank you. Rebekah, do you want to talk about what shows we're watching?
I really do. Okay, it's a weird one, and it's not my normal thing, but my husband and I have been struggling to kind of find a show together.
Right?
I've been like steeped in reality. and he's been like watching soccer and like whatever sci-fi things he watches. So we found a show. So here's 3 clues. I'm curious what you think. Okay.
Let's do
So
this.
the clues will be Netflix, Island, Religion. It is a series, like an episodic limited series. What did I say? Island, Religion, Netflix.
I don't think I'm going to get this.
Yeah, it's real weird. Catholicism, a priest. Okay. It's called Midnight Mass.
It came out a while ago, right?
Oh, probably.
Maybe last year? Oh, September?
September.
What is going on in this world? I can't keep up. I
Well-
feel like it came out around Squid Games. Is that true? It came out around the same time as Squid
probably.
Games. Yes. I don't know why
Probably.
I know that, but
Because you probably are like visualizing them up on the queue or whatever. But so the little blurb says the arrival of a charismatic priest brings miracles, mysteries, and renewed religious fervor to a dying town. It is it starts like a straight kind of mystery drama, and it does turn a little supernatural weird, but it doesn't happen until several episodes. So I was invested at that point, because if those start like that, that's not my kind of show.
Right.
I will say this was like so well acted and just compelling enough that I kept watching. But my caveat and warning to anyone listening who's curious is I didn't watch the 7th episode. It got really intense in 6 and like gory. That's not my thing. And so my husband watched the 7th and told me about it. But I do think it's worth watching. It's a good story. Basically, this priest starts performing miracles on this like tiny little island town, and there's people who believe and people who don't, and how it divides the town. Lots of very like smaller stories within the story. It's really interesting, and it's by the guy, the director who did The House on Haunting Hill or something like that.
yeah.
Or
House on
there's
Haunted
like a
Hill, I
couple
think
of
you're
them.
right.
Yes, and like Bly Manor, which also have like a spooky horror kind of thing in a more drama setting. They're hard to explain, but if you liked those, you would like this. And I didn't love those, but I liked this one more. So it's
interesting.
It's just really, really well acted, I have to say. So it's not like a super hearty endorsement, but like if you're looking for something different, that I don't know,
I like it.
try. Okay.
So you know what? I was in between two, and yours just pushed me into the same kind of feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
So my clues are going to be, I got to think of these off the top of my head. Showtime. I got the free trial for this and another show.
Okay.
Showtime, Christina Ricci, and
Ooh, what is she
Juliette
in?
Lewis.
Oh, God. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
She's from New Jersey, Christina Ricci.
Oh.
Is it new?
It is new. It's, I think, about 5 weeks. It's,
I don't know.
yeah, well,
I haven't heard of anything with them in it right now.
I saw one preview for this and I was interested. So I didn't pull up the blurb, but it's it goes back in time. So it reminds me a little of Cruel Summer with the teenage aspect. So let me get you in. There you go.
Sign me
Hot
up. Say no
teens,
more.
Let's go.
Say no more.
So it goes back in time to like 20 years ago when this girls soccer team goes to nationals. They're flying to nationals, and then 20 years later, what's happened? So they fly to nationals. They get into a plane crash, which is not a shocker. It's like in the previews and stuff. They are left on this island, and they have to survive. So 20 years ago, 20 years later, people are still asking them as adults, you know, what happened? What did you guys really have to do to survive? Because they were out there like 18 months or something. So just
gosh,
you got to suspend a lot of belief in this
Yeah,
show.
a little
And it's
far-fetched. Yeah.
Even like already gone off the deep end for me. So I don't know how committed I am, but it's got like a supernatural feel to it. But it's cheesy, but it's fun. I don't know. There's like a lot going on with it. If you like mystery, like Christina Ricci's character is really weird, but they're kind of all being drawn together 20 years later because of something that's going on. So everybody wants to talk to them about the 20th anniversary, and they've all like made a pact to not share everything that happened. And so you're kind of seeing little pieces of it going back and forth in time and stuff. But where I have a hard time is it's like day 2 and they're like, oh, we're all synced up on our periods. And you're like, Day 2,
Yeah.
first of all.
No.
And like nobody's like, I miss home or this is hard. They're like singing songs from the time. It's just a lot of where I'm like, am I just that anxiety ridden that I just could not be chill whatsoever in this situation? And they're
At least
just,
not at that point. Yeah.
not on day 1. On
Yeah,
day 1, they're
yeah.
like, we found a lake, let's swim. And
Right,
everyone's just
right.
so excited.
What is it called?
It's called, oh, did I not say that?
Not
It's
yet.
called Yellow Jackets.
Oh my gosh, I've not heard of it. And it sounds actually like something I will definitely watch.
Yeah, once I saw the teens in it, I was like, Rebekah, this has you written all over it. But it has, I'm just kidding.
No, I am a YA show fan. I don't know why.
It's all right.
I don't know YA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but I think you would like it. I actually got it because I'm watching Dexter, the new season of Dexter. And
Oh, fun.
good. That was
That's
going to be my thing, but
You know, I'm already regretting. I had one other show and I wish I'd done the other one. I don't think I sold, I'm not trying to sell anything. Midnight Mass is what it is. I just don't feel like I explained it well, but it's interesting.
as a Christmas gift, what is your other show that you're watching? Christmas gift to the
Oh,
listeners. People might have extra
okay.
time.
Okay. I don't remember if you and I have talked about this before, like on the podcast or off, but Hulu.
Okay.
I'm not going to guess unless you want to. Sure. Coming of Age.
Okay.
Going back and forth in time. Middle school.
Pen 15.
Yes. Have
How
we
is-
talked about Pen 15?
We have, but not this new season. I haven't watched it yet. How is it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, just really quickly about Pen 15, the first season, the two like creators of the show and the main actresses are in their 30s. They're comedian actors, and they play characters in the show that are middle schoolers. But the whole show, everybody is actually in middle school, but they are not. But they embody
Oh my gosh.
13-year-olds in the most remarkable way. I think they're brilliant. It's very funny, very cringy, coming of age, kind of just dealing with like the shame and the just the angst of that age. Season 2 is a continuation, but it's a little heavier. It deals with some darker subject matter.
Right.
They're like still in middle school, but they're a little older. They get high school boyfriends, and they're still just like charming and quirky and adorable, but like their friendship gets tested in different ways. It deals with more, I would say, like just like bigger themes, but it doesn't lose its like playfulness. It's and I know it's also the last season, so I think they maybe on
Right.
purpose kind of tried to like give it a little more gravitas since
Yeah.
it was ending. But I'm so blown away by the two of them. I forget it's like Maya Erskine and Anna something.
Yeah.
Cole, maybe?
Maybe.
They use their first names, their real life first names in the show as
Yeah.
their names. They're Anna and Maya, and they have this like
I love them.
they're BFFs. They're the cutest.
They're so cute. I love the first season. It's one of my favorite seasons of anything.
It's brilliant.
The thong episode, what is it? Tomorrow. That's what like I see in my head all the time. Just tomorrow, whenever they were like swapping it out.
Yes, and the
when they would
scene
return it.
for me, it's the drum scene in her
Oh,
band
yeah,
concert.
yeah.
Like, oh God, just it just zeroes in on like little moments that if you can't relate to the specific thing happening, you know the feeling of it happening.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. So Pen 15 was the other show I was watching, which probably
Yeah.
should have led with.
No, that's all right. I've wanted to watch that one, but I know it's the end. So the second season, I feel like it's maybe 2A and 2B. Like they divided this last one up, right?
It's like chapter 2 of season
Yeah.
2 or something.
I
I
don't know
don't
why
really
people
get
do
it,
that.
but it was confusing to me. Yeah, I don't know, but I like blew through them because they're short and they're just so lovable. But yeah, it's really good.
I didn't want to be sad with it ending. I've just so I've put it off. I don't know.
I
get
know.
weird
I
about
hope
that.
they do something else, and I hope it's great because I just think they're so talented.
They are. Oh, I love that. Well, I will need to watch that. Yeah. Perfect. So Rebekah,
Okay.
do you have your clues for next in 2 weeks?
What if I said no? What if I was like, no, not yet? Sorry. Yeah, I consider this my notice. I do, and I do. There's no turning back now. You know the feeling.
No,
It's
you're
like,
pretty committed.
I've been vacillating up till like basically we hit record.
Sure.
But I'm all in right now, and here are your 3 clues.
Okay.
Energy drink, fashion fraud.
Okay.
I have an idea. Melissa's
I will
brain,
ask you after.
visually, it's like I could see computations in your forehead. Like so much is happening right now.
It is. I mean, and nothing
Do
at
you
the
know?
same time. I don't know. I'm going to guess it, but I'll cut it if it's
I'll be surprised.
Is it OC Angels?
No.
Do you remember the angel? Okay.
No.
All right.
What is that?
Do you know what I'm talking about? On the OC, whenever they had the angel thing, the one lady, I can't remember her name, Tammy Rittenbaum or something. I don't know. Her ex-husband had like an energy drink thing, and it was OC Angels. Like all their kids were part of it. I always assumed that was a fraud, so that was where I was.
This is like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how.
I'm excited.
I don't think it's super obscure, but I don't think it. Yeah, there's some good people in it, and lots of like it's star-studded.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah. I just gave you like a fourth clue. Yeah, it's pretty star-studded. So
okay,
it'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait. Let's do this again in 2 weeks.
Sounds great.
Yeah. If you miss Rebekah during the week, which you should, she has her show Dialogue out every Wednesday, new episodes. Yeah.
And same goes for Melissa, except Tuesdays. And her show is called Moms and Murder. And I think major holiday will have happened in between now and then. So Merry Christmas to everybody celebrating. Hope everybody had a happy Hanukkah who celebrated that. And we'll see you on December 30th. So we'll ring in the new year together with our next story.
Yay. Have a great 2 weeks.
Yay. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Criminality. If you're enjoying the show, please head over to Apple Podcast or wherever you listen and give the show a rating and review. The reality is it would be a crime to keep your thoughts to yourself.
And come join the fun outside of the podcast and follow us on social media. We are at Criminality Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Memes are welcome. We'll see you in 2 weeks with a new episode. Until then, you can catch my co-host Melissa on her weekly show, Moms and Murder.
And Rebekah Sebastian on her podcast, Dialogue, a true crime conversation. Don't forget, loving reality
isn't a crime.